Do you remember the very first time that you had your ultimate favorite food? Hello, my name is Stephanie. I'm a therapist on Long Island, New York that specializes in the treatment of eating disorders and body image issues. If you like this video or found it helpful at the end, please consider giving it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to my channel if you're interested in learning more about eating disorders, body image issues, general mental health and well-being, and therapeutic tools. Let's get back to my question at the beginning of this video. Do you remember the very first time that you had your ultimate favorite food? What was it like just sitting there and experiencing it for the very, very first time? I want you to hold on to that for the duration of this video to really understand what I'm talking about. I want to talk about a DBT skill. DBT, as I probably have mentioned in other videos, I hope I did, dialectical behavioral therapy. It's a mode of therapy, and there's awesome skills that that the mode has for general life or treatment of certain mental health issues. So one of the skills that is absolutely wonderful for everyone is called beginner's mind. It's also known as child's mind. To really understand what this means, we really need to understand something. When you are a child, there's ultimately a first experience for everything that you do. There's a first trip to Disney World. There's a first trip for, just another park or to grandma's house. There is the first time that you had ice cream, the first time that you played with a friend and went over and slept over her or his house. As a child, when you experience your very first whatever it is, you have absolutely nothing to base it on. You have no expectations. You don't know what this experience is going to be like. So you are truly there for that experience. Everything is being present in that moment and seeing everything for the very first time. Seeing Cinderella's castle for the very first time. A lot of people will remember that. Or eating the pizza for the very first time and just feeling the warmth and going down your throat and how tasty it was and the crunch of the crust or whatever it is. That's something that you probably remember for the very first time. When I say there's no expectations, I mean that you don't have any bias when you were a child. You don't have any bias from a prior situation that maybe scarred you or didn't go as well as you had liked. Maybe you love pizza, but at one point in time, you choked on the cheese, and now you're so afraid to have pizza because of that one time. As a child, you don't have anything to base it on. So you're truly there, you're truly able to have the ability to enjoy it. But when you have something to base it on that maybe wasn't such a pleasant experience, that is your bias, and now that is something that's going to be hurtful for you in doing something that you actually enjoy. If you loved pizza before but you haven't had it in years because of that experience, child's mind could really help you, or beginner's mind, whatever you like to describe it as. How can you actually use this skill? So I really want you to think about what it is when a child experiences anything for the first time. What do you think, how is it different from when you experience something now, even when it's the first time? Because you now have such situations that you could back up anything. Even if it's a new trip to somewhere else, you might have had experiences with other trips that didn't go so well. So you might be going with that with different expectations or biases. For a child, if you have nothing to base it on, what is that like for them? Let's say you really want to try pizza again after a few years ago you had choked on the cheese. How can you use beginner's mind now to really have this pizza again and enjoy it? So it's radical. I know it's very difficult to do, but it's something that is so useful when you're able to actually throw yourself into it. So when you are experiencing beginner's mind and you're going to have this pizza, you need to go to the table as though you've never had this item before. There's nothing that you have any basis on. Basically, what would a child be like seeing this for the first time? Look at the pizza, move it around, touch the crust. What does it feel like in your hands? Be present with all of your senses. What does it smell like? What's the temperature like? What does it taste like ultimately? Can you hear the crunch while you're chewing it? All of those things is what you need to be absolutely present for, and really approaching it as though this is a completely new experience for you. And as I said, it is not easy to completely erase or completely not go by all the experiences that you've had, but we get shaped by our experiences, and this is a good thing in some ways, and it could be negative in other ways. because when we are shaped by negative experiences, it hinders us, it hinders our growth, it hinders our life. Like I said, pizza, yeah, it might be one food that you could probably live forever not eating, but if you love pizza, you're truly living your life. If there's someone that, if you're having a party and everyone else is having pizza and you really want it, but you're scared to have it, that's not something that's going to be, wonderful in your life. That's going to be always something that's going to be upsetting, even if it's not life altering. It's something that if you loved it, I want you to be able to have it. So Beginner's Mind is a tool that's going to help you reclaim your life and re-alter the experiences that you've had to create new ones and to actually create ones that are more positive and shaping your world. It's empowering and it's something that could be so useful for you. As it pertains to eating disorders, perhaps you now have this bias that there are certain foods that are bad for you or unhealthy. And that's going to create this whole dynamic that you're not really able to enjoy that food. If you're sitting there and saying that you're forced to eat something that maybe you liked at some point before your eating disorder, but now you just deem it as bad or unhealthy, you're inevitably shaping that experience. You're setting yourself up for it to be a negative experience. And when we're trying to say that something's bad or unhealthy, you might actually have physical symptoms that's not really pleasant in your body because you keep saying, oh, this is bad and unhealthy, bad and unhealthy. You're shaping your experience before you even had the experience. So Beginner's Mind would be going there and experimenting with that pizza as though you've never had it before. You know nothing about it. You don't know about the calories, which you probably already do if you have an eating disorder. You don't know about the nutrients in it. All you're doing is eating that pizza. That's all you need to think about. That's all you need to be present for. And what is that experience like for you? And allowing yourself to have a new and positive experience with it. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. I talk all about this type of stuff in a blog, and I'll leave that link in the description below. Feel free to check it out. Please leave a comment down below about your first time eating your favorite food. Do you remember that? And tell me about it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I truly wish you the ability to view the world through the eyes of a child on your journey to finding your state of balance. And I hope to see you in my next video.